Greetings of peace and welcome everybody who is joining us in watching this video, whether it be live, whether it be in the future. You might be watching the replay. We really welcome you, and we're really grateful that you are viewing this video. My name is Anthea Alexander. I'm a wellness coach and I live in Melbourne, Australia. And my co-host is none other than Yogi Sanjivana. I'll introduce himself shortly. So basically, Yogi Sanjivana is also known as Sanji. And Sanji and I met some months ago and decided to collaborate and host a weekly conversation event or podcast. It's an open conversation event. That means that everybody is welcome and we are open to discuss any topics. But in order to have some sort of structure, we came up with the theme, or like a larger theme, umbrella topic of living consciously in 2025 in modern times. And then each week we come up with a different topic that we discuss. And we've talked about a range of different topics. We've talked about meditation. We have talked about many, many things. We've talked about attachment. We've talked about, we've covered quite a lot of topics. And there are replays available on our YouTube channels for you to view if that's something that you're interested in looking at. And you're welcome to contact either of us to provide feedback or comments, even to suggest topics that you might like us to discuss. For this evening's discussion, where we've decided to focus on dreams and their meaning, so interpretations and what they might mean for us. And I'll hand it over to Sanji to introduce himself and perhaps tell you a little bit more about what he does and what he's passionate about. Over to you, Sanji.
Thank you so much, Anthea. It's always a great pleasure to be here. And I'm Sanji or Sanjivana, and we do from meditational coaching, all the way mentoring, tutoring, all the way up to a lot of charity work. And now myself and Anthea also are involved in this herbal life products, and we want to supply many people with these good products. Which are not like the chemical things, no, that they give to people and make them even more sicker. So we are doing things together, and then we got together to do this podcast also. So Anthea selected a beautiful topic today. I just remember back in the time when I was a little monk, I was there in a meditation center, and they just asked me to do a topic, and I don't know for what reason. In my mind, I just put dreams do come true. Usually they say they are just dreams, no, and they don't come true, or just they say it's dreams. But I really wanted to prove that they do happen, the opposite, no. So I got back some. This was like many years ago, but that insight came back, and then I'll share some of it because I really wanted to show like things come true also, no, and they are not mere dreams. But we'll look into it, and it's a fascinating. There's a psychological aspect, there's a spiritual aspect, and in day-to-day life, we can talk in many aspects and many viewpoints, and different as well as in different angles, different directions, and we can dive deep in also. So let's see. I hand it over to Anthea. Anthea, this is a beautiful topic you have selected.
Thank you so much, Sanji. So thank you very much for introducing yourself and also talking a little bit about what you do and what we do together as wellness coaches. So we can help people with weight management, energy, other specific health issues that or health goals, I should say, that people may be working towards, we can certainly help them. So you're welcome to contact myself or Sanji if you're interested in working with us. We'd love to hear from you. And so with our topic of dreams, I wanted to share that. So I was raised as in the Catholic faith, or as a Christian, and I really loved that faith, and I loved praying to God, and I loved going to church and singing in church, and then as I was growing older, sort of I hit my late teens, early 20s, and I started questioning things a little bit more. And as I've moved through life, and I talk with lots of people about I love listening to people's life stories. And it seems to be that around that point of time of our life, we start to question things. So at that point of time in my life, I started to explore meditation. And I also started to explore other metaphysical topics. And one of those topics was dreams and their interpretation. And I remember traveling out on the outskirts of Melbourne. There's some beautiful mountains called the Dandenong Mountains. And my mother and my friend came with me, and we drove up this mountain, and we went to this amazing venue, and we listened to an expert talk about dreams and their meanings. And I always remember that. So that was one of the first sort of metaphysical topics that I remember wanting to really learn about. I've since gone on and learned about a lot of other topics, but similarly to Sanji, he was talking about his dreams do come true and proving it for the world. They do come true too. So there's the different dreams. We can talk about dreams being goals or things we're wanting to achieve, but for us, I think this discussion is more about the dreams that we actually have when we're asleep and during the night. And my understanding is that we always have dreams, but sometimes we don't remember them for different reasons. And I know that in my experience, for part of my life, so when I was about 34, I experienced some chronic nerve pain in my face, and as part of the treatment for that nerve pain, I was started taking a range of different medications, pain relief medications. And as part of the pain relief medications, I remember for a part of my life, I didn't remember my dreams. And then I was able, fortunately, to cut down the medication. And then I was able to remember my dreams. And I was really, really, really grateful to remember my dreams, because I love dreaming, and I love trying to make sense of the dreams, or trying to find the symbolism in our dreams. I think that perhaps not all dreams mean something. I think that this is my own personal sort of take on this topic, is that some of our dreams are our brain trying to make sense of what's going on, or perhaps our subconscious trying to make sense of different events. But I certainly believe that there is symbolism in a lot of our dreams. And also, I won't get into it too much now, but I also have some other ideas about dreams. So I can share them with you a little bit later, and that's also from my personal experience. So what I would love to do now is to hand over to Sanji, and I'll love to hear what he's got to say from dreams, from his experience, from his experience as a monk, from all the teachings, like Buddhist teachings, that he has absorbed in his life to date.
Okay, thank you, Anthea. So I'll try to keep it really short. Yeah, what they say about dreams are like experiences, no, like stories, images, thoughts, emotions, and happening in your mind when you are asleep. So I was also actually that topic, like dreams come true, about dreams that happen, not like our goals or things like that. But actually, I want to say, like, because people think they are just dreams and you sleep and you wake up and they are gone. So I was also trying to show like this also can come true, not by me myself, also from different sources and all. So yeah, in science and all, they call it the REM sleep stage, no, rapid eye movement sleep stage. So in that stage, especially during that, we have this stage of dreaming. So in a way, like it is explained, it's like the same thought process. Only thing, like the thought process doesn't stop, right? So, but there we can science and psychology. They talk about different levels of this. We'll have a glimpse of that also, and but it's like the same. That's why sometimes we remember the stuff we were doing in daytime, or like sometimes we find a solution also, right? Oh, like can you get up with a solution? No? I remember like small days, like used I used when I was very small, then not like it. I used to like think I would go to the bathroom or the washroom and open the door, do everything, but I had wet my bed. So there are people who are walking in their sleep, no? So they are like really living their dream kind of life. So it can happen without them knowing, like they forget everything after that. But it seems like a continuation of this thought process that happens. But our filtration processes and the things restrictions we have can those boundaries and all can be broken in the sleep stage. Uh, and like you mentioned, like yeah, taking some things like medications, or some people take alcohol and these kind of things, or even some other drug that can change that all also, no? And sometimes we see, or when we listen to other people's experiences, like two or three incidents combined, and then sometimes like it mentioned like emotions or rage or things, and people even have nightmares, right? That's also part of a dream, right? So it's also a dream, no? And then some people have this kind of like moments, like what would they call it? There's a nice name. They get caught up in a semi-dream like state, and but they're like somebody's like attacking them, or some entities coming, and they are like in a semi-conscious mode. Uh, there's a specific name for that, right?
Dreaming,
Uh,
lucid.
lucid dreaming is also said, but this is more like intense, like they feel some being is coming and like maybe attacking them, and then like they're like semi-conscious and they see also, but they cannot move, like sleep paralysis, right? Yeah, but it's kind of like more extreme way. But then sometimes like things you cannot do in the outer world, maybe you will be wandering and doing uh, in the dream world. You can all these things. And then yeah, so yeah, it says like in scientifically also they try to give explanations, because the limbic system, and the cortex, they kind of like they are the function of the brain, they call it. But in many traditions, it's called a part of the uh, memory or mind process. So there's like memory processing, emotional regulation, problem solving is also part of it. And some people call it a random brain activity. So, yeah, like you mentioned, there are types of dreams, lucid dreaming, where you are aware of dreaming and maybe able to control them. And nightmares are intense, scary dreams. And then the other one is reoccurring dreams. The same comes over and over. And then some things like very uh, how to say, like prophetic, no, like a very how to say, very special, no, or could be some religious thing or spiritual thing. So yeah, some explain, Anthea, like we can do this, we go to a stage like we forget, because there are specific minds that are very numb. Numb means like there's no big activity. It's like the loop that connects, but there's not much activity. In some traditions, it's called bhavanga chitta. It's like just connecting the loops, but it doesn't do a big process. But when our normal mind is functioning, so they say like the five sense doors and the heart base, and sometimes we get up with a twisted neck. No, we don't know how we were sleeping, or like, oh, look, I am now not like when you swallow. All this and we were snoring or something, or like limbs and hands, legs here and there. I remember we went to one place, and this, I think, I cannot remember exactly, but the kid had like rolled in the mosquito net and was like entangled and like a ball outside of it. From the bed, like a ball, like caught up, but still sleeping. So, and then our friend Sarah, she says like sometimes the two kids sleep with her, and she can hear like these kids snoring. Sometimes their limbs come, the legs come onto her face, no? So, so these things happen. So we don't know sometimes the five sense stores what is happening. Huh? And I remember one person tell like there can be a mixture of things also. Like he saw like he's going in like a horse chariot, but he had never gone in his life, no? Like then it was a mouse like eating the ceiling. On the ceiling, it was making that same sound like kar 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 kar. And for him, it somehow they came through the five sense doors, but it started building another process. And in his dream, he was like riding a horse chariot or a car. The same sound and the same sequence. So there can be mixtures and mixtures of these. And yeah, like we'll get to the other parts also, and yeah, and from some real things that happen, and we can have deep. Yeah, would like to hand it over to you.
Okay, so that's really interesting and quite humorous. What you The reason I'm laughing is because I've experienced some things like that too. And yeah, you wake up with you just oblivious to what's been happening because we're basically unconscious, aren't we? And our brain is working and processing, and our body processes are still working, but it's like we're I don't know, it's like almost like we've turned off our mobile phone and it's charging, but it's not yeah, it's not switched on. So yeah, it's really fascinating.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I had just made a few notes while you were talking there, and I wanted to share that in English there's a saying that if you need to make an important decision, that you'll sleep on it, and
Mhm.
I sort of link that to what you were saying then about problem solving in our dreams, because
Mhm.
we might have trouble coming up with a decision, and then once we've had a good sleep, which I understand sleep is about, like, um, regenerating our brain, helping our brain to get a bit of a rest, and our body, of course. So it's about recharging, and then we wake up the next day and all of a sudden we've got the solution. So
Mhm.
it's really interesting. And prophetic dreams, I also made a note of that. You've
Mhm.
touched on that. Dreams that foretell the future, and in the Bible and also the Quran,
Mhm.
um, stories about dreams, about telling the future. And what I also wanted to share was that with my dreams, what I often do is, if I'm trying to make sense of them, is and also if other people ask me what I think their dreams mean, because sometimes my friends will ask me,
Mhm.
and I often ask people, and I ask myself how I'm feeling, or ask my friends how they're feeling when they wake up. So, do they feel comforted by the dream, or does it feel fearful?
Mhm.
And then, and I think help make a bit more sense of the dream and perhaps what its meaning is. I also wanted to, you touched upon spiritual meanings of dreams, and I also wanted to touch upon when people come into our dreams. So it might be that we dream of loved ones, or we
Mhm.
might dream of people that we haven't met yet, or that we don't sort of recognize. Um, so I've certainly experienced many dreams of people that are no longer here on this earth.
Mhm.
So they've transitioned, unified with God, and basically I've dreamt of them. And my belief and basically Islamic teachings, and there's probably other spiritual teachings as well, faith-based teachings, I'm not aware of them, but certainly Islamic teachings say that if we dream of people in our, if we have people come and visit us in our dreams, that it is actually like a genuine form of communication. Yeah,
Mhm.
I wanted to share that as well.
Mhm.
What I wanted to share at the moment. So I'll hand it over to you
Mhm.
to share some of your wisdom and knowledge.
Just sharing it. So everybody share, no? And so there were sometimes, Anthea, like we had a tsunami in 2004, right? So I just remember like these things happened. Like one mom, she saw like a, uh, uh, they put a notice. They call it, yeah, like a death notice. No, sometimes they stick it in notice boards and all. So she saw like her son's death note because we had no clue, and we never had for like some 1,000 years, or at least some couple of 100 years we never had. And from we never had known of this. We know Japan, places like that, some countries have it, but we and this mom had seen like her son's like death notice with a photo and everything just going in the wind. Uh, and it had like two family situations. And the one time on that specific, because the children were going to go on a trip to that beach location and all. So somehow the one mother stopped her son. And as I remember, another also had glimpses like this, but she did not stop and she lost her son as well as many others. But there were indications. So you don't even think like this would happen, right? But yet, and there are some places like people come or like from the past lives also. No, sorry, like people who passed away, and they come and ask for help. So here, like yeah, some in a very good form and even coming to help and warn people, uh, like you mentioned. And some places where they say like they are born in a bad place because they seem like in a very poor condition, and nobody imagines this, right? Unless they're angry with them or something. Uh, and then they say like they show like they're hungry, or then people here they offer things to other people and all. Just and sometimes there were instances they showed up and in history also in a better form when they transferred those, like say doing after doing good deeds, they and some had specifically told them, please do this, or I'm in a difficult place, help me. So there are, like you mentioned, there were times good and bad, like they had connected. So there are places like that, like it's difficult to explain also, no? So we'll go into other places also.
Hmm. Yeah, that's really fascinating. And I think that there's so much in this world that we don't understand.
Mm,
Uh, so there's a lot that we do understand, and we're intelligent beings, and but there's so much in the world that we don't quite understand. And I think that our dreams come into one of those categories. However, I think that it's a matter of like self-awareness and contemplating and even journaling and making some note. Perhaps
mm,
I've heard suggestions of taking writing down your dreams first thing when you wake up to to make some sense out of them. And it would be, I think, a really interesting. I've done it like stopped and started doing it, but I haven't actually done it for an extended period of time. But I think it would make fascinating reading to do that for a period of time and then reread your dreams and see how they're connected, what symbolism there is, perhaps whether there are historical events that have taken place that connect with the dreams. For example, like talked about the tsunami and the warnings that the mothers had of their sons' potential, that are in danger. Fascinating stuff. So where shall we head with our discussion from here?
So, yeah. So how about like what does it say, like incidents in the Quran or like Bible? Because these are places where we can get some information, and many people believe in this, no? So when it had happened, no? So what did you come across? Because I also have some things I found, and not found actually, they were told from a long time.
Okay. So the main story that I know about is Prophet Joseph, or in Arabic, he's called Yusuf alayhi salam. So basically, he was raised with in a family of brothers, and he was basically he was said to be very, very handsome, and his father's favorite, and his brothers were envious of him. So they basically took him and then pretended that he'd died and went back to their father and said, Joseph has died, or Yusuf has died, and they put him down a well. And someone came and found him out of the well and took him, I believe, as a slave. And then he was taken to Egypt, and then he went through a series of real, very severe hardships, and he was in prison for a long time. And he was accused of terrible things that he didn't do. He was innocent of those things, but basically, in prison, he had this ability to interpret dreams and explain dreams. And in both, my understanding is in both the Quran and also the Bible talks about it. And so he was able to interpret the dreams of the other prisoners, and then he went ahead and did it for, I think, the king at the time of Egypt. And he was able to predict that there was going to be times of, really big, really abundant harvests and abundant crops. And then there was going to be a time of a lot of famine. So he, through the symbolism in the dreams, and then he basically was able to say, this is a strategy we should take, make sure that we stock up on the, and then we'll have it for when the famine comes. And it all came true.
Not true.
And so, yeah, that's the gist of the story of Joseph, or Yusuf, who was a prophet. So, yes.
And there's like a couple of funny stories also. So one is regarding animal and another is regarding a child, and this comes from the past lives also. So it is said like there was this saint, and when he was going, a little puppy came barking towards them, and the saint had just looked at it and said like, when you were there before, so you used to scold me. Now here you are as a puppy, and you still scold me. And this puppy like really got afraid and went and hid inside, like all days like had stoves and nearby the ash, right? It not the burning stove, but when they how to say put it out, the ashes are there. So this little puppy, the master of that house, really loved, and they were taking very good care. He never he had his cushions and everything, and well taken care of, like a prince, no, like well taken care of princess. I don't know, male or female. So and then this suddenly like went and like he was hiding inside like the store, and then when the master or the person came, uh, and actually the person had mentioned like his father's name, which was like a big insult, no? But he didn't know. And he has like, because this little puppy would come and jump onto him and every day greet him, no? So he has like, where's this little one, no? And he also was very fond of it. Said like, oh master, he's hiding near the stove in the ash. He was like shocked, no? Why is that? And then they told the incident, no? And he was like furious. How dare you like hurt my pet? Hurt means like scold my pet as well. Now he's also upset, and you like tell upon my father. So he went to this person and asked like, how dare you, no? How dare you? And he want to make him look wrong and bad. So the saint said like, okay, you feed the little one, uh, the little puppy, milk rice, but without mixing any water, just milk. And when like lucid dreaming, when this little, and just keep wash him and bathe him very well with hot water and make it very comfortable and place it on a beautiful nice cushion, and then first feed it and put it like make it sleep, and then reach near and say, dear father, please give me any treasures that you didn't give me before, if you had kept anything away from me. And it is said he did it just to prove that saint was wrong. Eh? Then what happened was like this puppy had awoken and gone and started digging the ground in some other place. And there was like that rich person's golden shoes and the plate or the platter, golden platter, solid gold platter he used to eat in. He had not given, and some many other more treasures there buried. So then they knew it was true. And there was another occasion just like this. There was a little child who looked very how to say deformed, and he came to one of these mansions, and they beat him up and threw him in a garbage pile, it seems. And then so those days the saints, so they were very powerful, no, those days. And they uh, the person had told, okay, this is the father of that house, and why would they beat him up, no? But he knew, no, why? Because it was a very poor child in a very poor family and very disfigured, so they were afraid. They thought it was some hungry ghost or something. First the children were afraid, the ladies were afraid, and then this person got to know that same like incident and was furious and came, how dare you call my father, he's in some place and according to their beliefs, and how dare you tell like this, no? Same had asked like, get this child, clean this child, ask somebody to clean the child, make the child very comfortable and feed that milk rice and see, and say to him like, father, if you have not given me any treasures, because he's talking to this child and before it was a puppy, right? These are two different stories. And then this child had gone and showed like, here. But he was his greedy father who had not even given the son the treasures. So there are things like that like can be done in like you mentioned, like, so even spirits or like entities or anything, even angels, huh? They can connect through that subconscious or like that lucid state, right? Yeah. So and we can go put it people there, and they say like if you go and do a meditation also while you are falling asleep, that starts working inside. It's like you pour some essence into some water which is mixing, no? You just put the essence and let it be, and then it starts mixing in the whole water, and it gets covered, and it's no. So likewise, so some people sleep upset, no, and then they see nightmares and all these things. That also happens, or they become frightened. That also happens. They suddenly wake up sweaty and all, no. So these are the things, and there are some more stories installed.
Oh, very interesting.
Uh,
How amazing. And yeah, and so some dreams that I've had dreams of connecting with people that live in different places or parts of the world,
mhm,
which is quite fascinating. So one of my teachers, spiritual teachers, I used to have lots and lots of dreams about her, and she's
mhm,
in America,
mhm,
and I have dreams of connecting with her. And I think it's just it goes back to something that we've talked about perhaps a few times before, that we're all connected. Animals, plants, people, angels,
mhm,
devil, believe in devil, God. We're all connected, and we can all reach each other and affect each other in different ways. So it's really, really fascinating, and definitely a topic I would love to learn a little bit more
mhm.
about. So please share some more stories.
So this is about Buddha. So it is said his mom, when he was being born, she saw a specific dream that there was a little white elephant that appeared, and she had taken many, like she had done fasting and all, and vows of after, like to receive the child after they got together. Then after that time period, she didn't have nothing to do with, so she was taking vows of celibacy, it seems, after that, so it was just for the conceiving the child. So there's like, it's called like a possession of Gabbel, they call, like, of inviting special beings from the heavens and all, angels and all, like to a mother's womb. So they do it very specifically and very nicely also. The ancient people knew this also. So and then after that, like, yeah, the male and the female, they get together, but after that they both of them, like, they keep strong vows and all, just to invite a very wholesome uh, being, or it's a human, right, after it comes to the mother's womb. And then she had seen, like, it was a dream for her, like a little white elephant carrying a white flower, and this elephant had gone around her bed and reached her womb through the right hand side, through her belly. And actually, after that, she had received the Bodhisattva, not the Buddha, actually, at that time. And there were another time, Anthea, Buddha also, before he became Buddha, he said he had 5 dreams. Huh? 5 dreams. I'll just mention, I'm not trying to, this is nothing religious, I'm just telling of the topic. So, yeah, it's like fascinating because it was like things he witnessed, no? What were they? Let me see. Yeah, one was like he dreamt of the earth, oceans, and the mountains. Huh? So he saw like the Himalayas was his pillow, and east and western, southern, washing his hands and the feet, the oceans. So it is said like he had not yet become a Buddha at that time. So it says like the future role of him becoming a Buddha was indicated there. So nobody made this up, no? So it was said by himself, it seems. And this was showing that the teachings will go far and wide. And then there was a dream, because these are like, you cannot even imagine these things, no? And it says like he saw some reddish, uh, I don't know what they call it, yolk sized grass emerging from his navel and growing exponentially to reach in the skies. So this symbolizes enlightenment, it seems. Huh? And then there were like, yeah, he had seen these cows like maggots on his legs, and the dream, yeah, yeah, specifically it says like white-bodied and black-headed, crawling up his legs. This vision foreshadows many beings who would, okay, just to show like, just it like, yeah, people will be following. I don't. This was just not to put people down, or just the way he had seen it. And then a sacred bird. The sacred bird is white gold with four colors walking on a mountain of dirt. So it's like the divine rising out of the mountain. So yeah, and then he had seen like demons attack also. In the same, Buddha has dreams, demons attacking him, attempting to prevent enlightenment. So yeah, I'll just cut it short, and just say like there were instances like that. These people in history also had seen before they reached. So actually, he had to go through a lot of difficulties, and there were entities and all who actually tried to stop him from becoming a Buddha. So they tried to lure him to into like sensual desires. A lot of things were said. Even that entity used his own daughters, trying to like provoke him, or like and then within when that first they try to do aggression, and when that didn't work, uh, then they used like these kind of things like uh, but it didn't stop him. Then finally like started threatening him. You see the posture, like the hand touching the earth, because there was no, there were actual real entities it seems, and the other beings also just left him, they say. And then he had to touch the earth and say like, I'm by myself, there's nobody around me, but this mother earth is my bear witness. uh, uh, of my enlightenment. And then it says like they could not stand it. This is what he said. So yeah, before that he also had dreams now. And we'll get to another nice part which is really related to modern times. It's not like some religious thing, I'll just tell you. So yeah, it's very interesting, like oh my goodness, like how it connects the dots. But I'll get to that, and I'll try to keep it short also, not like long things. So there are some things like we don't know even how it happens, no? And some people like they ask like what are these and all, but there is a science that some people study and do for dreams, uh, uh, and some of them really come true, like in these scenarios, and good or bad, right?
Yeah, really fascinating. So, just from what you were saying, you mentioned a sacred bird coming in one of the Buddha's dreams. And
Mhm.
I also wanted to share that I believe that if we see certain types of animals in our dreams, that there's symbolism in the animals as well. And I have a lovely book
Mhm.
that talks about different animals, and even if you notice them in your everyday life, it explains what they mean, and it talks about their basically in ancient times what they meant, and how you can make sense of the symbolism of the animal as well. So yeah, so I think that that can relate to our dreams as well. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, this is like a strange thing. There was a king in the past time, and I don't know, their memory capacity is super powerful those days. We cannot even sometimes remember one dream, but this king remembered 16 dreams. 16, 1 6. Really? Now we talk about 5 seconds at attention span to 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minutes attention span. It's reducing, we say, and we try to cater that. But these people could remember just like 16 dreams, and he had come and he was afraid like something was wrong with his kingdom, or usually the kings are afraid something would happen to them, no? So, but he had come to like this very powerful person and asked like, what is this, no? And actually, he wanted to do a crazy thing like sacrifices. And luckily, his wife was brilliant. She was very intelligent and wise. They were like in the courtyard, like animals, humans even brought, and all the other items. And she was like asking, why are these all together here? And because one of his ministers has suggested, no, it's some, oh, king, it's very bad for you and something like that, and it's bad for our kingdom, so we have to do the sacrifices. And then luckily the queen, she was very wise and all, and compassionate. She had seen like, of course, there must be like big amounts of animals and humans, no? And then she asked like, why, and she had asked her husband like, are you out of your mind, no? Or were you thinking with your brain or head? And she had dragged him to this person, and he remembered, it seems. Huh? So it's very fascinating. Uh, yeah, I'll just tell the 16 dreams and what they mean, because it's very related to now. And this person had told the, oh, king, this is not a problem for you now. It is something for the future, which is now, actually, which relates so well. Okay, I'll just tell them the dream in short form and what it means. The dream and what it means. Okay, but it will take, because it's like 16, so I'll just try to cut it short. There's explanation and all these things, but I'll just okay. Here goes. So the first dream was, there were four strong oxen from four sides, and they would come to fight each other, but they just huff and puff and put clouds of dust and go. So when the king told this, said like, no, it's not for now. Uh, it's for the future, king. There'll be times in the future. There'll be thunder, lightning, but no rain. But it's not for now. So we see like now climatic changes and all this happening, no? So in the future, like they say, water will be one of the biggest resources, and people will be fighting over it, like the oil. So they said like there'll be just thunder. It's going to have heavy rains, but no. So that was one. The bulls or the oxes coming to fight each other, but then they leave it back again to four sides. That was number one. I hope I can get. Then young plants are bearing fruits. That means like these teenage pregnancies. So now we get to hear like more and more this teenage pregnant, like very young, small plants bearing big fruits. So he said, like, no, no, this is not for, because those days they used to wait till they got married or something, unless it was something that happened, but usually they would wait, and then, but now there are like all these things, no, happening in the world. So that's number two. I'll just try to keep it short. And then the third remorse, a female cow feeds on the milk of her child. The opposite, right? So the when people stop respecting the elders and the parents, uh, and they will give their children and all everything, but the children what will not look back on them, like will not take care of them, uh, to show that. So it's like the cow is drinking milk from the calf. Uh, so it's happening, they dump parents in like elders' homes and all. Just big explanation, but yeah, not having anyone to rely on. Yeah. And the fourth dream is farmer is using young cows for preparation and abandoning the stronger ones. People will hire inexperienced people to do certain jobs and judging crimes. Uh, they will use inexperienced people to do things. And the good, like there are strong oxes and all, but they use the very younger ones. It happens. No, I was talking to a lady. She said like some people come, but they lack the life experience sometimes, but they have the theoretical or that organization knowledge. But sometimes, yeah. So yeah, and then the fourth dream is a horse with two heads eats wheat from two different containers instead of eating together. Evil judges will take bribes from both the defendant and the jurors, and they will decide crimes however they want. Like horse with two heads eating from both sides. Then this, yeah, that was the fifth dream. So the sixth dream, uh, people encourage a fox actually to urinate in a golden platter. Good people will not be respected and praised and reducing the reputation. So they'll have to make friends with bad people for the sake of their reputation. A fox, just these are examples, but the king had actually seen. So you don't let the fox to urinate on a golden platter, no? So then the seventh most man is making thread and places them near his legs. A hungry female fox eats the thread without letting him know. So man is like making thread, weaving them, but whatever thread he's making or rope he's making, the female. So that means like people in the future, uh, they will be cheating on each other, and the one who is like sometimes like trying to do the work and all their resources and all will be drained. uh, Whatever the rope, it doesn't stay, that fox is eating and eating and eating. No, I don't know how he remembered all this. No? So yeah, so yeah, consider, yeah, the husband, they'll be making money but will be spent on various things, and they'll be cheating without, and gambling and all, do these wastages of things. And then the eighth dream is there is a large pot surrounded by other small pots. Though the large pot is overflowing, people come and pour water only into the large pot, not the one, uh, the other small pots. So likewise, people pour charity and all these things when there are so many people will, uh, yeah, when there are so many people in need, they'll be just feeding one place, or place where it's still overflowing. Huh? And yeah, and then the ninth dream is the animals drink water from a large lake which is polluted around the center. Oh. So the future leaders will not be sympathetic to their citizens. They will force the citizens to pay a lot of taxes. Not being able to withstand the heavy tax, they will move to the countryside. Okay, that means like the middle of the pond is like dirty, and the other side, so animals are drinking from those areas. Huh? So likewise, the people will be moving, no, not staying. Oh, and the tenth dream is like rice cooked in a single pot. However, the portions are overcooked, some undercooked, and some were cooked right. Uh, it will not rain properly. In some areas, get lot of rain, some other less, and some at none at all. So that is the tenth dream. No proper irrigation, no proper rain for that matter. The 11th dream, uh, a man buys a valuable ruby with a liquid. People will spread teachings asking for donations and spend their own good. This is equivalent to buying teachings with few money. Oh, I don't know exactly that. It seems like they are even things like help, they'll like monetize and no. Uh, so that the 12th dream is like the dried things, like dried things which should float on water. They start sinking down. Wicked people will get the duties of leading the country, and people will start to believe in them. So the things should for float are now sinking. Huh? The 13th dream is like a large rock is floating on the water. The opposite. When bad people rule, good people wouldn't make strong statements in arguments, so they will are no longer appreciated. The 14th dream is a female frog tries to eat a large cobra. So it says like young elderly people would marry younger people, and however the spouses will start like ridiculing them. Uh, and and the 15th dream is like a crow is surrounded by golden swans, meaning in the future only people of bad characteristics will become leaders. Not having anyone to rely on, good people will have to serve them. So there's like a crow in the middle, and then these beautiful swans around. Oh, it's happening, right? So, and the last one of them all is the goats are eating like the tigers and all, the opposite. And the tigers are running away from the goats. When wicked people become governors, they will uh, claim the lands of good people and deport them. So good people will have to run away from those people. So it was said like it is not now, these are for the future. And these are happening, right? So 16
Yeah.
of them, these were dreams. So I'm just
Mm.
telling like, so they do happen, right?
Yes, they definitely, you are correct, Sanji. They do
Yeah,
come.
just what the history and all says, huh?
Mhm. Fascinating. And it's fascinating that the dreams are in symbolism that the king understood.
Uh-huh.
They, and it probably was centuries and centuries and centuries ago that
Mm.
the king and received the dreams, experienced the dreams, and yet it can be translated into modern day times.
Mm.
So much time passed, and in such basic symbolism with oxen and foxes and different animals.
Mm.
Interesting again, touching upon the animals and the meanings of the animals. And then it can be equated to what's happening in modern day times. And so many of those dreams, as you were explaining them, the meaning of them, I could just, yeah, you can see it happening in everyday life. Mm.
And then here some psychologists also have their viewpoints and all, no, like some famous psychologists. I'll just mention like some. So yeah, like Sigmund Freud, he mentioned about uh, a theory about the subconscious mind and how desire. He was more focused on desires, no, and fear and conflict. And then there was another person, Carl Jung, Jung. I hope I'm telling properly. Yeah? And then, yeah, the symbolism of like universal symbols. No, like he was focused helped to like the inner growth self. And then there are these cognitive theories. Uh, so they say like dreams are part of the brain where they proceed through thoughts and solving problems. And yeah, and synthesis theories, no activation. So this is like more neuroscience based. So there are specific people who mention, but mostly like they are based on brain activity and nerve systems, like a inner survival system for the just to like show maybe like precautions, no. So they say this also in spiritual aspect there are some nice things. I'll just share them like a message from divine higher self, access to subconscious mind, like in spiritual psychology. And then some people talk about astral traveling. Some people ask me, was like, can you astral travel and all? And then, oh, lucid dreaming, like we talked before, no? So, like we have this very profound dreams, or like people we mentioned who had. And then there's a very interesting part like soul work and karma. So they also show glimpses of things. And then, like you said, like symbols and that kind of language that shows again and again, no? Uh, so there are so many aspects in dreams also in many, many, many ways, no?
Really, really fascinating.
Fascinating.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've talked for over an hour
Uh-huh.
without me even having to look at my clock. So we've done very well, and I think that we could keep talking about this. So, as you've mentioned to me, you know of experts who deal with dreams and dream interpretation. So perhaps it may be that we can get them to join us, and we could have a part two.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
be really, really great. So
Mhm.
with dreams and, perhaps what do they mean?
Mm.
Between the two of us, we've shared our thoughts and experiences and what we've learned. But it would be really interesting to perhaps consult with an
For sure.
expert. Yeah, so I would really love to delve a little bit deeper. So that could be something that we could sort out in the future. All
Mhm.
right. Well, wrapping
Okay,
up,
okay, sure.
thank you so much for your time and your expertise and your stories. I always love your stories, your humour and your sense of humour. And I thank everybody who views this video, and I really pray that it's of sincere benefit. And yeah, please feel free to reach out to Sanji or myself, or if you have any comments, feedback, any particular topics you would like to us to discuss, or if there's anything else you would like to ask us about, we're more than happy to hear from people and to help them in the best way that we can. And thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll hand it over to Sandy.
Yeah, sure. Thank you so much, Anthea, for selecting these wonderful topics. And yeah, we should we want to help many people as much as possible, and that is also a dream of ours, no? So, and we hope that this also helps many people, and we will definitely in the future make bigger reach or try to make bigger reach, and then these other experts, yeah, let's try to connect with them, and. Yeah, at some point we can have, or you all can share what you feel or what you experience, all these things, and add in the comments, or if you have specific topics also you can send. And yeah, we want to help everybody in any way possible. Okay, then thank you so much, and thank you very much, Anthea, again, and thank you all who is watching this later on also, and thank you for having us, and we wish you have a wonderful day.